Hey Flosstube friends, hey there, it's Lana with Silly Notion Stitcher Flosstube coming at ya on Thanksgiving Eve, and I just wanted to get one more Flosstube in before it's all about Christmas. So sharing my pumpkins with you again. This is a pumpkin quilt from a few years ago, and a lot of fun to put together. My first time making strip sets to do an easier way of doing patchwork, and my first time discovering K-facet fabric. So I kind of went out of my normal element with this quilt. So hope all of you are doing well and getting settled in for whatever your Thanksgiving is bringing you. I hope that traveling is going to be easy if that's what you're needing to do, and getting all of your prep together. So my Thanksgiving is it's kind of become a little bit of the new tradition the last few years. My mom and I, my father passed away about 23 years ago, so and I don't have siblings, so my mom and I like to go on our little road trips together. And we did have an invitation, as we usually do, with some family on my father's side, but they are starting to have more grandchildren in the household, and it gets to be a lot for the people that host it. So we're sort of the extra family, so we'll be with them for Christmas, I'm sure. But we will be setting out, like tomorrow is Wednesday, November 22nd, and I finish up work at 1 p.m. So I have just a few more hours to go. I know that so many of us in the office are just like chipping off the hours because it's just been super busy. And so my mom and I will be driving down we're in Berks County, southeastern PA. We will be going to Newcastle, Delaware for dinner by 5:30 p.m. and it's at this tavern called Jessup's Tavern. And from the pictures, I wanted to go there for Thanksgiving last year because it sort of has very colonial feel to it, and they seem to have like good old-fashioned types of turkey meals there. Newcastle is one of our original colonial towns. I think it's right on the coast of Delaware, and between like it's before you get up to Philadelphia. So very colonial feel, but it's had a resurgence of like some nice little businesses and everything. It's a really nice town to walk through. And then from there we will be going to Dover, Delaware, to the casino. So there will be casino action. So we are going to Dover Downs. We'll be staying there. It's now a Bally's Casino, and it's where the Dover NASCAR racetrack is. And my good friend Kathleen of Snickerdoodle Stitches fame, Flosstube, she discovered, because she's a Delawarean, she discovered that there will be a Christmas light drive-through display that they do right on the NASCAR racetrack. So my mom and I are going to fit that in. And then on Thanksgiving Day, we will be driving a little bit to another casino that's called the Harrington Casino, and it's right near where, I think it's actually on the grounds of the Delaware State Fair. And we will then drive a little bit of ways closer to the beaches, to the east, to a restaurant for Thanksgiving, and they're having like a special menu for Thanksgiving, so that will be very nice. We'll go back up to the casino at Dover, stay over one more night, and then be coming home on Black Friday. So yeah, so that's all very exciting. So thank you for hanging in there as I go over our Thanksgiving plans, and for tuning back in. And if you're new here, I do talk about cross stitch. I do talk about some sewing, but lately it's mostly all about cross stitch. So I just wanted to show a few. I have one big finish, one near finish for Thanksgiving, a start or two, and I do have this prior finish. I'll put it in the finish category. It's not cross stitch, but it is a little pillow that I made a few years ago. I made a few of these. Two were gifts that people purchased from me for a near Thanksgiving birthday and a fall birthday. And so this was actually not a leftover block or anything. I did make this just for this size. So that is that pillow. And I did have an exciting cross stitch finish. If you tuned in last time, you saw my little lady Pilgrim, and she is now officially finished. She's not FFO'd yet, but she is finished. So I started her last year. Let me see, I'll give you the full look and bring her in. So this is a Lizzie Kate pattern. I just love her cheeks, and her face came out pretty good, and Kathleen advised me to do the back stitching there. It doesn't call for that, but because of how my linen color matched so closely to what I chose for her bonnet, I did that. I wasn't thrilled about the coverage. So this is a legacy linen. It is 20 count. And I was using 4 strands of DMC floss over 2. So 4 over 2. And when I started her husband, this is Priscilla, and her husband is, I always want to say it's Miles, and it might be, but I'll have to see. I definitely bumped up his floss, his strands, so he got 6 strands pretty much everywhere. It cracks me up the way these leaves look. I think I messed up at a few places. To me, they look like turkey legs. So that works. And I had this burgundy variegated DMC. I think I did purchase it special for this pattern. I'm not quite sure. And of course, I had a little stretch here where I totally ran out. And I had done the 10th stitch layer and still needed to do the final stitching. And I'm like, I know I still have some more, but I really couldn't find it. But I did. It all came together. And so she is going to be made into a stand-up. And if you watch Kathleen in the Snickerdoodle Stitch Flosstube, she just did a stand-up, and she recommended Vaughn and Pfeiffer's video on stand-ups, and she said it's very good, and she told me that I needed to watch it. Oh, this ring light is kind of making me crazy. So I will be doing that to learn some, best practices for making a stand-up. This pattern is this Lizzie Kate Pilgrim. Oh, pair of Pilgrims. I always want to say Pilgrim Pals for some reason. So that is what Miles is supposed to look like. My Miles is not going to have his musket. I was a little nervous about, this was the width of the fabric that I had, and I was just a little too nervous that it was going to be too close to this edge. And quite honestly, I really just wanted to get it finished. So this is where I'm at with him. I think I have a few little issues with his shoes, but that's how it goes. So it's really been fun to now just fill in Still need to, you know, add some of his hands details. Now I do want to show you the inspiration. I changed the colors. So this color here that looks like it shows up gray is actually a light blue, and it's used on his design as well. And I just wasn't crazy about that. I wasn't crazy about her very dark apron. I get to look at these little cuties every year for Thanksgiving. I found these a bunch of years ago, and oh my gosh, they're just so cute. They sit on the mantle and they're sort of like, you know, wobbly type. Wobbly to the point of that his head did come off a few years ago in a sad incident, but we were able to fix that. So so yeah, these colors sort of I used a little bit as inspiration. So see, her apron is all white, and I'm like, oh, I don't want to do a dark brown apron. So I did do gray, but she's holding a pie, and in the pattern there is a pie button. And the same with him, he has a pumpkin and he has a sunflower. Well, of course, these were done, let's see, they were done on 28 count. The buttons are like this on a large thing that I did. So I am figuring out what I want to do. I do want her holding a pie, and I'm either going to layer some wool pieces that are cut to be the shape of a pie, or I am looking for some of those boiled wool little pumpkins. You know, you've probably seen the candy corn that's out there, the peppermints that they do. So I'm looking on Etsy for something like that that would be the right shape or the right size, the right scale. So, but aren't they just so cute? And they really only get to be out for such a short time after Halloween, and then they have to be put away again because then I have to get my Christmas stuff out. So, very exciting things happening there. He just took a tumble. So, let me see here. Now, I just had a start 2 nights ago. Very, very exciting. It's going to be more exciting if I can find the pattern. Oh my, please hold. And we're back. So, I be ye thankful. I needed to get this. When I would see it on people's floss tubes, you know, I was sort of on the fence and whatever. It's not something that I normally would stitch, even though I love Brenda Gervais with a needle and thread patterns. I love many of them. I do have the Easter book, and there's several others that I want to do. So I did start this. This is 32 count Lugana. And this is, I am pretty sure this is Cheerios. I think it is, that's a little bit more of a correct color, although this light is like really making it look bluish. And it was an Atomic Ranch that I found at Stitch New England at that retreat. So I've got a nice little start. Now, I do not have, it's pretty much all weeks over-dyed threads. I have a whole bunch of weeks over-dyed threads that I've acquired, and I go into that stash thinking, oh, I'm going to have 5 of these colors. No, I had 1. So I looked at a few others, and I decided, you know what, there's not a lot of orange. in the pattern, like in big clumps. So even though I didn't have this particular orange, I went with something different. It is, I think it's just Weeks Dye Works Pumpkin. The red that I chose is Cherry Cobbler. So I really did want this color that it called for, because I really just love how it looks in the picture, but we know how things often look different. I do still miss the fact that it's not going to be that color. But this is Weeks Charcoal. So I hope that I like it as I continue to work on it. I think what's really gonna tell me is when I start to work on the house, which is just this section here. And that color I definitely want to get the called for. That is, I believe it's Grecian Gold. Does it say it right here? Yes, Grecian Gold. Oh, and that's a Gentle Arts color. So I will be getting that for sure. So this concludes my autumnal Thanksgiving stitching. I have been really trying to hold myself back from doing Christmas stitching. I did not do a very good job because I did start a few new things. I was at a Stitchy retreat just 2 weekends ago. Oh my gosh, this light. And with some friends of mine that we normally do some quilting retreats where we do full-on, like, bring the sewing machines, lay fabric out, and for about 4 days we work on different projects. My one friend Jane just announced that she worked on a quilt that I was witness to her putting it together for a contest, and the quilt has been accepted in a group of quilts that will travel next year across the country, and it is foundation paper piecing. I'm totally drawing a blank on the company. Oh my gosh. It starts with an H, and if you're into quilting and you know paper piecing, you probably know the contest that I'm talking about. But they will do this. They'll pick a theme, and people can send entries that fit into that theme. They have to use a designated fabric line from the company, and she just did such a wonderful job with hers, and so I'm very excited that I got to see it, and now we get to, you know, observe that success. But anyway, we got together. There were 4 of us for just hand stitching types of projects. We get an Airbnb, and we like to just sort of simplify the weekend, that you can just bring a tote bag of 2 of us do cross stitch. One was doing like punch needle yarn, wool yarn punch needle, and some cross stitch, and then Jane, the one who has the quilt, was doing some knitting. So she's working on some socks and had a success there. And so for events like that, I have started to make sure that I have something that I'm starting to remember and correlate that event with. So without further ado, I picked up these 3 wee Santas at StitchCon. I have not started this one yet, but it will be going on this fabric. Oh, look at that, I did start it. This was just the other night because I couldn't wait. My mom and I have gotten into the Gilded Age on Max, and so I know I was working on this then. We're also, of course, starting The Crown. I mean, as if everybody watches The Crown. But so this is a 28 count even weave eucalyptus, And I got this at the Stitch by Stitch shop in Cape May. I don't know. I think it might be Picture This Plus. She sells a lot of Picture This. Ouch. Picture This Plus. So those big blocks there are his little legs. Or his boots. Then we've got We Santa 2022. This is really what got me going on the whole little series of which ones I picked out. I just love that. I love the color. The pink color is Classic Colorworks Sea Shelly. And it's subtle variegation, but when you start working with it, it does start to show up pretty well. So I've got part of his sleeve. I feel like I'm knitting his sweater. I do like to stitch. I stitch in hand, so I do like to go up and down. I would have wanted to go horizontally, but I started on it and forgot that part, because when you look at the model, it is definitely going across, and I do like the way that that looks. That's one little technique that I picked up along the way watching Flosstube when I was first getting started, like about 3 years ago, and learning about overdyed floss, and you know that there is differences in using it and how it's going to appear and what you can do to modify that if you want to. And one of them was, you know, if you have things like doors, it might look better to go up and down rather than across, and it kind of all just depends on the scene and what you really like. And then the same with something like this, or the same with like a house or a roof. I could see you doing both things on a roof. Vertically, it would maybe elongate it a little bit more, have more of a dramatic lengthening effect. And then the same with if you did it horizontally. So it's kind of fun to know that you can play around with those little effects. And then this is We Santa 2019. Lots of cute extras in there, and the little elves. And of course I love the peppermint stuff and this workshop. This is how I roll. I start pulling threads together, and I have them like kind of tucked in here. And I try to narrow down my fabric choices, and sometimes there's multiples stuck in a pattern as I, you know, figure out what I'm gonna do. So this is Atomic Ranch Mellow Stone, and it is 28 count Lugana. It's really neat. The modeling is so even and more subtle. That's kind of, it's just, yeah, there we go. That's a little bit better. So, you know, at some of these retreats, the pieces would be pre-cut into, like, you know, fat quarters and 1/8 yards and this and that. Oh my, there's a live sneeze for you right there on Flosstube. You know, you get it all right here. So, some of the retreats I found would cut fabrics for you if they had yards. You could get them in smaller cuts. And then the retreat that Rebel Stitcher just had in Philadelphia, she had all like pre-cut stuff. If it wasn't cut any further, there was no extra cutting. She really had to, you know, be a little bit more, she was staffed down. She didn't have a lot of, you know, staff. It was just her family really helping her out. so there was no extra, you know, cutting and things like that, but she did all of that beforehand, and that was totally fine. So that is some Santa stitching there for you. I'm also had started this caterpillar kit that I've shown before. This is the first time I purchased one of their kits, and I can't really show you the charts because they are just the charts. Do I have any pictures? I don't really have too much progress on this just yet. But I did, you could choose an Aida or an even weave. The color was the same no matter what. And so I am doing the 32 count even weave, and that is my start. So it's a big tree in the middle on a pond surrounded by houses and shops, and one area they are skiing, and then another area they are ice skating on the pond, and the houses are just very colorful and cheery. Let me show you the color palette. So it was exciting to order this from England, and the shipping was very timely and easygoing. So I just love the cheeriness of the colors, and that's pretty typical with Caterpillar designs. And this makes it really easy to manage these threads as well. So I will continue to work on that. I don't anticipate that that will be a finish. It was a mystery sew along. It was a SAL, and I think it started like in late September maybe. Well, I never really anticipated that I would keep up with SAL, and believe me, like, they started coming very quick. Like, oh, there's another one. Oh, there's part 3. So, yeah, I'm not the greatest sew-along person in terms of like really sticking with the schedule. One thing that I really want to commit to during this Christmas stitchy time are my Prairie School Santas that I did start 2 years ago. Was it 2 years ago? I know that I really worked on them a lot last season, or not a lot, but worked on them more. So I may have gotten the chart in 2 Christmases ago, but not really started them. So this is the Father Christmas. I'm not a huge Prairie Schooler fan, but there have been a few charts that I've seen people do, and they modify the colors, and I love that idea. So I did do that in certain cases with this. So I have this piece of Aida, and this is Picture This Plus. This was some of the coveted Aida Picture This Plus that people could not get back during the pandemic. But look how close that guy's finished. I mean, almost finished. So, like, come on. This is like Brenda telling Laura, you're almost finished with that. So, yes, I have my own marching orders for myself to get him finished. I love this blue. I'm not exactly sure what I picked. Let's see if I have it quickly. I have, oh my, Blue Coat Blue. So it is a Weeks Dye Works. Blue Coat Blue. It's not quite that brilliant looking in person. I'm now looking for Grecian gold. Do I have any Grecian gold in here? No. So yeah, this is very exciting, and these will be finished as ornaments. Now I have visions of maybe like a Santa tree, but let's just aim for a cross stitch tree or section of the tree, like, you know, let's focus on that. So some more things in progress. This, sadly, I do not know if this goes this way or this way. I think it might go this way. So I have to look at that chart and see if I can figure out what I did there. When I went to last year's hand stitchy retreat with the friends I was talking about, my friends Kathleen, Quinn, and Jane, Trisha was also there last year, and so I tried to get some of these to a place that I could do fill in and just sit there and fill in, because I knew it was going to be, you know, we get busy, we go shopping, we go dining. So when we do actually sit down to stitch after we've looked at our, you know, delicious haul that we've brought back, I just need to be able to sit and start filling in. So it's very exciting that I have that to work on. And my finale for this Flosstube is my Matilda's Bedtime. And I do really want to strive to finish this. So between Thanksgiving and Christmas, literally like from Thanksgiving Day, it's just 4 weeks. This happens every year, but every year I have to sort of like look again, like it's only 4 weeks. So once again, I'm at a point where I don't really have very many cross stitch items that I can put out on display, and I am really trying to rectify that. And I have so many whips in progress for Christmas, and there's gonna be a lot of Christmas stitching, let me tell you. So, oh my gosh, isn't it cute? So this was a start at the Stitchy retreat I just did around November 10th with my friends. Oh my gosh, she's so cute. So, love her. I did pick up this chart, and it's Matilda's Bedtime by Finally a Farmgirl. I purchased it through keepsakes at StitchCon, but I think, oh, it's finallyafarmgirl.com. I was trying to remember if she has an Etsy shop, but I think it's directly through her website. So this is Atomic Ranch Freeze, it's called, and this is an 18 count Aida. Now I do like Freeze a lot better on the even weave and the linen. This just looks like a big blob of gray. It is not. It has a little bit of modeling, and it has even a little bit of pink tones at places. There, that's a little bit better. Sometimes I think the ring light doesn't really do very much in my case. Here's a big section of the pink, just to show you what the Freeze is. So she does stitch up quickly. All the Matildas are pretty cute and small like that. So, but she's just adorable in her little sleeper jammies. With her Santa mug is adorable. And those marshmallows, like, now they are big French knots. I'm looking at them and wondering if I could actually do like little, almost like cut off some of the Lady Dot pom-poms and glue those babies on there. That maybe is what's going to be happening there. And I'll just show you a few flosses that I purchased. This was some of the haul that I purchased at the Stitchy time with my friends. I did try the pumpkin button for Miles, my Pilgrim, but he's a little too big. This is more like a gourd for him. Gentle Art, Mediterranean Sea. And gotta have some queen bee in your stash, and I am all out. So I am happy to have queen bee back in the stash. We've got some Gentle Art peacock. And hollyberry. That'll be good for some Christmas type stitching. And then we have spinach, Classic Colorworks. I think I needed this for something, of course. And then we've got hibiscus, which is a really cool, like very vibrant pink, hot pink. So I love colors like this to have on hand for some of the things that I want to do just in one color. So that is one of my plans. I will be having, you know, maybe 1 or 2 more floss tubes before the new year, but I will come back with more of New Year plans. And I do have it's the Classic the Country Cottage Needleworks Snow Village, and I still have that to finish, but I never really seem to get to off-season general charts that I love and want to do. So I have the Brenda Gervais Coffee Time. I have that pattern that I really would love to work on, and just some of those more stitches that just are ode to stitching types of designs, where they are, you know, pin cushions, tomatoes, scissors, you know, those types of cute little things that probably won't take as much time as some of like these series that I have. So that is definitely going to be wedged in there in that January time frame and February. Last year I kind of got off track because Cherry Hill Stitchery threw us a lovely freebie for Valentine's Day that I got caught up in unexpectedly, and I did work on it and I finished it. That was a sale that I did finish, and I'm glad I have it, but I would like to stay focused and you know, do some of my charts that I have. So that is the end of my floss tube for this time. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you liked it, and wish you a great Thanksgiving. Please like and subscribe and hit the bell for notifications. I really appreciate it, and I just wish you very merry stitching. See you next time. Thank you. Bye.